Is there a game that you ever played that you thought you would like it, but you actually ended up hating it?
Man, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for the 64.
Dude,
That
I actually
game.
like that game.
Oh, you like that one, bro? I'm so I don't know. For
I
me,
don't
I
think
was
it
like,
aged well, but I think at the time I was just so excited for a Star Wars game.
This is the first time I had ever gotten frustrated with a game in my life.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Modern Gaming Weekly podcast. Thank you again for joining us. That was just a quick clip from today's episode. I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in it. Hey, and welcome everybody to the second episode of the Modern Gaming Weekly podcast. This is the Able Geek, Able himself. I'm joined again with the Brown Baymax and Bento Box Senpai. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
And if you're here with episode 2, thank you for making it this far. We're still here. We are not canceled yet, and we're going to go a little bit of a more personal episode for episode 2. So that way you guys can get to know us, kind of know our background and what got us into gaming. So we'll jump into it here. We'll go and start with Brown Baymax because that's an interesting name. So Brown, if you could tell us what's the backstory of your online handle? Where did that come from? If you can give us the origins of the Brown Baymax.
So the story behind my handle was basically, I'm a big person. Let's not tiptoe around that. I'm a really big person, and it was a joke that my friend's kids was calling me Baymax, and here comes Roger, one of my friends, Roger. He was like, "You're the Brown Baymax." So it stuck around. And when I went to Texas for a convention, I think it was for either PAX or RTX. And I think it's RTX that I went to. He was like, they made a sign and they stuck it to the car and they went and picked me up saying pick up for Brown Baymax. So it just stuck around. So it's been like that for a while.
Yeah. No, it's a good name, man. It's recognizable. It's and I mean, if it fits, it fits. I know a lot of people like that name. So hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's a good name, and you're a lovable man.
It's a welcoming, friendly name. And Bento Box Senpai, also another interesting name. What's the backstory of that, Bento? Where did that come from?
I was honestly messing around with my previous group of friends, and we were like messing around with like coming up with like a DJ group that we were thinking of doing, but we never followed through with it. And I was like, you know what? We were eating at a place called Bento, literally, and I was like looking at the bento box that I was eating out of, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna stick with Bento Box Senpai. And then they were like, why? That sounds so dope. And I was like, well, when you order a bento box, you see what you get, right? And my personality is just like, like I like to have fun with my friends. I like to just chill. Like I'm a more vibey type person. So basically what you see is what you get, and then that just kind of stuck around. And then I just followed it into Twitch, and it's just something that I don't know. It was just a fun name to have, pretty much.
Yeah, man, definitely a fun name. It's one of those also just kind of like sticks out, and you definitely remember. So yeah, I think when it comes to picking an online handle or even like the marketing with it, it's definitely helps to pick something like that people remember. And then with mine, I mean the Able Geek. That one, it's actually a playoff of a startup that I used to work for. Um, and when I left that company, I kind of, I kind of liked the way it sounded, but I wanted something like that for my own handle. And I was like, you know what, I'm kind of like a geeky guy, like video games and anime and comic books and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, how about the Able Geek? And it just kind of stuck. I looked online. I didn't see anybody with that handle, so I was like, you know what, then it's mine. And that's been since like 2013, 2012, 2013. I didn't really start doing anything with it though until like 2018, really. So it kind of just had those handles, never really used it, and until the last couple of years now.
The Able Greek.
The Able Greek is a lot of people when they first, when they first read it, they always say the Able Greek. It's been an inside joke, but
I had to. I'm sorry.
And then, so Baymax, what game would you say got you into gaming? What was that game that you played where you're like, I'm hooked, I'm going to be a gamer going forward? What was a game for you?
Like,
or games? Maybe it was more than one.
It was more than one. It was basically that got me like into like full gaming was playing on the ColecoVision. My mom had an old ColecoVision and like a big bag filled with games. So it was Donkey Kong Jr. I remember this. It's the white cartridge that you put in the system, and from there it got me hooked, and I was playing that for hours and hours. Yeah, I was dying all the time, but I mean, I was having fun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, all the way back with ColecoVision. Yeah, Donkey Kong Jr. was going. I don't know if I ever played it on ColecoVision, but yeah, just Donkey Kong in general. Definitely a fun game. And then so you start playing it and you're just like, I'm hooked. Like,
yeah, I was literally hooked. Because I remember hooking it up when I was living in Puerto Rico. I remember hooking it up to the TV, and just from morning till like 10 o'clock at night, I was still glued to that TV playing. And my mom was like, have you gotten up? And I was like, nope.
Yeah, that's usually when man, when you're young and you play that game and it just sucks you in. That's usually how it starts, for sure.
Yeah, for
sure. I'm gonna have to try that at some point on ColecoVision. I haven't played Coleco in a minute. And Bento, how about you, man? What was the game that got you into gaming, made you into a lifelong gamer?
When I used to live in Chicago, I was about like 7, 8 years old, and I was living in my aunt's basement with my mom at the time. She had this Super Nintendo just stashed away, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" Like I didn't know what the hell it was, to be honest. And then they brought out the gun, and I was playing Duck Hunt with my cousins, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" It's like, how does this work? Like I would like play with the gun at first, and they're like, "Oh, this is how you use it." And then ever since then, dude, like I would just like in the middle of the night when my mom would come home from her late shift at the hospital, she would be knocked the fuck out, and I would just like hook that thing up by myself and just be playing Duck Hunt. And then remember Rob too for the Super Nintendo? Yeah. They had one of those. So like ever since then, like I was just so hooked to it. Like I would get in trouble just like trying to play it, and I'll be like, "Go to bed," and I'm like, "No, I'm going to play Duck Hunt." So ever since then, dude, like I started with that, and then it rolled into like Game Boy games, like Fire Red, like all the Pokemon games. Honestly, I can thank Pokemon and Duck Hunt for starting me off in a sense.
Yeah, Duck Hunt was such a classic one, man. I remember at the time when I first started playing Duck Hunt, I was maybe like 4 or 5, and I just remember like being kind of fascinated. You can aim this gun at the TV and kill these ducks. Like it was
like some sort of voodoo magic or some shit.
Yeah, what is this wizardry? Yeah. No, yeah, it's a classic one, man. Should load up some Duck Hunt when we all go on this trip and play some Duck Hunt. For me, I mean, Mario, the original Mario Brothers was probably one of the big ones, because that's it was one of the first games I played, but it was also one of the ones that kind of got me hooked onto video games. And then also Street Fighter, I'd have to say, in the arcades, because back then, in the early 90s, you can go to like a 7-Eleven and they would have, it would never fail. They'd have like a rack of comic books, and they would have, arcade machines, arcade cabinets, and they would be everywhere. And I remember Street Fighter was a big one at the time. And I just got hooked on Street Fighter as a kid. I was maybe like 7 years old, and I couldn't stop playing that game wherever I went. Grocery stores, convenience stores. It was always, there was actually one, a Circle K that was like 3 blocks from my house. And at like 7, I would just like walk down, be pumping quarters in this thing, play it for like 2 hours, and then come back home. But yeah, so I'd have to say probably Mario, the original Mario Brothers on Nintendo, and Street Fighter 2 arcade, and then the Super Nintendo. Yeah,
Sweet.
it was definitely fun. You guys ever? Did you guys play Street Fighter in the arcade also, or?
Yeah,
here and there. Here.
Going, what was it, in the mall? Because the mall wasn't that far from our house, and my mom worked inside the mall. I would go to when they used to have the Namco arcades, and from there play Street Fighters left and right until my mom got off work, and your hand is cramped up and you're like,
Yep.
you're calling the ball of the freaking joystick. You're like, I can't move my hand. But
Who was your fighter of choice in Street Fighter, in that original one? Well, not the original. I guess Street Fighter 2. The Street Fighter 2 in the who would you pick?
I would pick what's his name? Yohanda.
Oh, Yohanda?
Yeah, so
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
sit there and just hit you with the palms.
Yeah,
I would be a Dulcim player first, and then I switched to Honda.
Yeah, dude. Also, it was kind of hard to control for me, but I liked the fact that you could spit out fire.
Yeah,
I always pick like Ryu or Ken. For me, that was always the ones I went with. I had a friend that, one of my buddies, he was always picking Guile, but I never got good with Guile. Just even to this day, I suck with him. But yeah, that was my jam.
Eventually, you get good at it.
Yeah. And then, is there anybody in particular that got you guys into gaming? So, like, family member, friend, anybody that first introduced you into gaming?
My mom would be the one who got me into gaming, because it was with her. She had her ColecoVision, and then from there, she just got the PlayStation. And when Crash was a big thing, we all sat around and played Crash, or what's it called? Oddworld.
Oh yeah,
Oddworld. Sitting there watching Abe fall through the hole when you miss. But yeah, my mom was the big reason why I got into gaming.
Did she game also, or is she kind of just the one that got?
Oh yeah, she games. Till this day, she games. I mean, she owns a PS5 that she won't share.
Oh really?
She won't.
There you go. Yeah, and Bento, like, who got you into it?
For me, strongly it was myself, because I am an only child. Like I said, my mom worked long nights at the hospital. I had to keep myself entertained. So like pretty much I seen kids at school like with their Game Boys, and I'm like, Mom, I want that. And she would get it for me, like she would be working long, hard nights. So I can thank her for that, for getting me into gaming. I guess she's a big role in that, to keep myself busy. So thank you, Mom, for all your hard work, for me sitting on my ass sometimes.
And does she game also, or?
Yeah, she actually does. She plays like Super Mario. She likes that on the Game Boy. She was playing Pokemon for a little bit, just to like, so that I had have somebody to play with, someone to relate to. It was more of like a bonding thing for her, in a sense.
Oh hell!
And I do appreciate her for that, for trying to be like, to try to be more engaging with like my age range at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she still plays games every now and then. Like if I'm like, hey Mom, you want to play some Mario Party, she'd be more than welcome to. Or like Cooking Mama, she loves that game.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So yeah.
Right on, man. Yeah. Video games can definitely be a good bonding experience. So And for me, like it was probably my dad, I would think, because he was a gamer, still is a gamer to a point. He plays he likes to play Division on Xbox. He's a big Xbox guy, him and my brother. And but back in the day, he'd put me on his Commodore 64. And I
Jeez.
remember the very first game I probably played. It was this one. I think it was called Aztec Challenge. Um, Pretty hard game to play, but I just remember it. And then Mission Impossible also on the Commodore, and then eventually went into the Nintendo. But yeah, he was always like a big PC gamer. And then as of late now, he's kind of gotten more into console. But yeah, I would say for sure him. We don't really play much together, but yeah, he definitely would watch me play and encourage it since he played as well. So yeah, it's definitely probably the biggest influence for me. And then what games are you playing right now? Is there any? I know we all play Dead by Daylight like every night. But
Story of our life.
story of our life, yeah,
What is
or
that
you know,
game?
like not counting, I guess, like the online games that we usually play like on stream and stuff. Is there any like single player games or adventure games or whatever? Anything you guys are playing on console or on PC right now?
I'm playing at the moment Link's Awakening, well, replaying Link's Awakening at the moment for the Switch because it's still one of my favorite games to play.
Very cool game.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
for
Link's
me,
Awakening.
right now I'm replaying Super Mario Sunshine and Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, thanks to the GameCube ROM emulator. You know, those are actually two games that I loved as a child, also. So revisiting those makes me happy, because they're just great titles, dude. Like I never got to finish Super Mario Sunshine, also. So my goal is to finish that and Link's The Wind Waker, also.
Yeah, Wind Waker looks pretty cool. I need to play Wind Waker. I've seen people play it. I haven't played it myself, but it's always good to go
What?
back.
You haven't
I've
played
not
it?
played one. I
It
have
is a
not played Wind
great game.
I know what
I've
to
heard
buy
that,
you
yeah.
now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've heard it from a lot of people. It's a great game. I just kind of fell out of Nintendo right around the time it came out, and I was like more into like I guess PlayStation around that time or Xbox. So yeah, I just ended up missing out on it. But yeah, eventually I want to go back and play it. But it's always good to go back and play some games like that you haven't played in a while, or finish them, because I know there's a lot of games, going back to like Super Nintendo that I started and haven't finished. So
Mhm.
yeah,
That'll be like Wild Guns for me. I've never finished it on Super Nintendo.
yeah, I still haven't beat Link to the Past either. Like I've gotten to the very end like 3 times, like the final boss, and for some reason I stopped playing right there, and then I have to start all over. So I've pretty much finished the game. I just never beat the last boss in there, and I can't even remember his name right now. I'm blanking on it. But as far as a game I'm playing right now, besides our online games we play, also playing Link's Awakening on Switch. I'm playing Hotline Miami also, which has been a lot of
Oh.
fun. I definitely recommend Hotline Miami. It is a very fun game. I didn't know what to expect when I first heard of it. I just heard it had some cool music, and it's definitely fun. It's kind of like almost has a feel like Super Meat Boy in a way. Like you're going to die a lot, but you just kind of get repetition and go through it, and it has a killer soundtrack to it. So
For
yeah,
some of the
definitely
younger
recommend it.
people out there, what is Hotline Miami? How could you explain that?
You're basically like a hitman. So you're going through. It's like an overhead view, kind of like a top overhead view. Like if you remember the old GTA games where it was like overhead.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're just basically going in and killing people in whatever house it is or building, and you get shot a lot. You get beat up a lot, but and then if you do, you start all over from that stage. So you just kind of keep going through it, and you kill everybody on that mission, and then you're clear to go to the next contract or whatever you take. And But yeah, it's a lot of
Okay.
fun. It's takes a lot of repetition and kind of memorizing where the enemies are going to be. But yeah,
Right.
definitely recommend it. A lot of fun,
Okay.
and it's usually on sale on Steam, so you usually pick it up pretty cheap. I think I got both for like $5, so
Oh,
like
definitely
5 or
check
6
that out
bucks.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was during their sale. I think the the sale that they were having for Devolver, I think it was, or something like that, or was it
yeah,
indie game
something like
show?
that.
Yeah, I picked it up as well, and hands down, it's a very fun game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that one. And then now, interesting question here. If you guys could remake any retro game, and when I'm saying retro, I'll go as far back as like PS2, Xbox, and beyond that. If you could remake any retro game into a new game with better graphics, what would it be?
E.T. No, I'm joking. No, I'll let you guys go first.
You got one,
Um,
Beto?
I don't know, man. That's a hard one. Probably DDR, dude. Honestly, for the PS2, I have
DDR.
not seen DDR since its PS2 release. Honestly, it was a great game if you're
DDR
into
is a lot of
dancing,
fun.
you know?
Yeah, with updated
Yeah.
music, I think it would.
Yeah,
Like if
with
they did
updated music,
remixes
definitely.
with today's music, I think that'd be fire. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it would. Because, like, dude, I lost so much weight from that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be sitting in my garage with my 32-inch box TV, bro, like all setting it up and like sweating the shit out of myself.
Volume
Yeah, dude.
cranked up to max.
Yep.
You can hear the crackling of the speaker.
Yeah, then you just hear like shuffling on the floor from the mat. My Mad Catz pad that's like almost broken because I've been stepping on it so much.
I always
remember
loved
s-
DDR because I love the music. I was never great at it, so I have like 2 left feet when it comes to dancing, but I definitely like watching people play. And I've seen people who actually buy like the actual arcade style like mats they put in their
Right.
house, like they're like $1,000 or something.
Can I be
And
honest?
yeah,
I have one of those metal dance pads.
Oh
do
my
you?
god. And also one, if I may add one more, Initial D, the
Oh, okay,
racing
yeah,
game, dude. I love those games, and like they have updated it since for the arcade cabinets, but it's just the old school ones just hit too hard, dude. Like,
yeah.
you know, that's honestly I learned how to drive through those games.
Little Initial D, little GTA.
Hmm.
Don't even need to go to driving school. Just
Right.
video games. So for mine, I would have to, and I touch on this game a lot. So hopefully I don't keep mentioning it in every podcast, but it's just it's one of my favorite games of all time. I'd have to go with Mega Man Legends. A remake of now I want Mega Man Legends 3. I'm never gonna let that go. You get my boy off the moon. But if I can't have Mega Man Legends 3, at least remake, the first two. I think with updated graphics, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
With trombone.
And yeah, throw Tronbon in there. Why not? The Misadventures of Tronbon. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun for me. And then I don't know, maybe even do like some of the other classics. Like I know like R-Type, they've done some newer R-Types, but I think in a newer style because they still have them in that kind of old school shooter style, like shoot 'em up. I think if they did like an R-Type, but like maybe like a first person view or more 3D ish instead of like a 2.5D, I think would be fun too. So some of those old shoot 'em ups, just kind of bring them back. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. How about you, Bay?
Man, that's gonna be a hard one because there's a lot of good games. Um, I would say, and it's like an interesting game, Heart of Darkness.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
for the PS1.
Yeah.
It was a creepy game, but such a great game.
Mhm.
It came with 3D glasses. I remember that.
Oh,
It came with, yeah, so it was an interesting game. It was a 2 disc game, but I wish they would actually remake that and put it like through modernized graphics.
Yeah. That's one of those games I always saw like in stores back in the day, or like in like Blockbuster, but I
Mhm.
just never played it myself, and I regret it
RIP
now.
Blockbuster.
R.I.P. Yeah. Can we get an F in chat for Blockbuster, please? No, yeah, it's one of those that I always kind of looked at, and I was like, man, I should have played that, and now pretty much have to eBay it, but when I get the chance, I'll play it eventually.
Dude, I would recommend it hands down. Like, yeah, it's a bit of a hard game, and there's like a little bit of a learning curve to it, but hands down, it's pretty fun.
Awesome, yeah, I'll have to check it out. If anything, maybe pick up the ROM, but it's for another day. It's for another podcast. I mean that's an interesting topic right there to bring up for a podcast. What opinions on emulation, using ROMs versus physical, etc.
Forever physical.
Yeah, as game collectors, we have to always support physical release, of course.
Yeah,
even if they're retro games.
Yeah, like Persona 2 being $500.
Sheesh.
Unless you can't afford them. I forgot to add that caveat. All right. And then, all right. So, Baymax, what would you say is your favorite game of all time? Do you have one game that just puts, it's you can put it above the rest as like, your favorite game of all time that you've had the most fun with playing in your gaming history?
It's a series, and it's the Battle Network series from Mega Man.
All right,
1 through 6, one of my favorite series, and I can literally pick up this game and play it for hours on end till my eyes bleed.
That's a lot of playtime. Yeah, Battle Network's pretty awesome. I only played the first one, but I would say one of my favorite games also in Battle Network. Just the whole, I mean, Mega Man series as a fan, but as a whole, but the Battle Network, I think they took it in another direction. I think it went really well. So
yeah, it did.
Sure. Is that one that you would kind of jump me back to the previous question of remaking games? Would you want to see Battle Network remade?
Yeah, for the Switch. Have a freaking 1 through 6 collection, or just I mean, they could put it all in one cartridge, or you could just do it separately. I mean, I wouldn't mind all separate games. Just saying.
Yeah. Like a remaster of them.
Oh yeah, hands down. Like, because they did Battle Network 5 for the DS, and they actually added voice acting and a couple other things to it. Like, they have the technology to do it. Then it's Switch, so you should be able to add everything that you couldn't add, or add DLC to it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. Yeah, a collection of Battle Network on Switch. Definitely pick that up for sure. Maybe have a bonus disc with Mighty Number 9 on it, but
is Mighty Number 9 made through Capcom?
No.
It
was the creator of Mega Man.
Mega Man.
I forget his name, but he went off and did on his own. It didn't get too well received though. And Bento, do you got one favorite game of all time or series?
Probably the Time Crisis series for me. Ooh, I enjoyed that one a lot, dude. I would play it all the time in arcades, spend all my quarters.
Dude, that was unique. Yeah, the fact that you can had it on hide behind shit.
Yeah, dude, like I just loved it, dude. I played Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3. Like, it's something that I could replay over and over and over and over again and just sit there all day doing it.
Yeah. I was never like cool enough to have like the guns for the consoles I could play them at home, but
I still have the guns.
Do you?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I have the Gun Con 2s for PS2, and I still have the Gun Con for the PS1. I remember because before you start the game, there was this like little screen that you had to calibrate the gun.
Yeah,
you could tell how shaky. You could tell how shaky your hand was.
Yeah,
had me rolling.
Dude, yeah, those arcades were so fun. I really liked it. Yeah, and then I think there were those because it was such like a big arcade unit and it had the gun. I think it was always a little more pricey than some of the other ones. Like like at least $1 or something to play it. Yeah, and then I was always crap at them, so I think I'd put $1 in and then call it a day. never get very far. Same with like House of the Dead. You know,
Oh yeah.
I beat House of the Dead 2 once, but it took me like $24.
Oh my.
Granted, it was like $1.50 per play or $2 per play, but yeah, it took me about 24 bucks.
Especially House of the Dead is getting a remake
It is
for the Switch.
Oh,
really?
If I remember right, yeah, they're remaking it, the first one for the Switch. I don't know when is the release date, but it's something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, House of the Dead's awesome. Also, they also had the Typing of the Dead. I think it was for Dreamcast. If you guys remember that one,
Yeah,
I never played it, but
Typing of the Dead.
I couldn't spell.
They had a what was a keyboard for Dreamcast too, keyboard and mouse. But
Oh wow.
I never played that one though. And then for myself, favorite game of all time, that's or series. Man, I would probably have to go with ET again. No, I'm just joking. Although I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't mind a remake. If they can get, what was the guy who did ET? It was
Steven Spielberg.
No, the actual programmer.
Oh,
was, Howard Scott Warshaw. If they can get him to like work with a company and make like a remake of the original ET for Atari, kind of how I guess he envisioned like it was in his head, because obviously they had to rush it, and it didn't come out that great. But if they can kind of remake it to how I guess it could have been with better graphics and more time, I think that'd be interesting. Kind of see where his vision was, even though it got kind of like shit out super quick.
Like the movie came out, and then what was it? They were trying to push the game for Christmas.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they gave him like 6 weeks to make a game by himself. So, which I think back then for the like 2600 with Atari, it wasn't uncommon for like one person to make a game, but they usually had like 6 months, not 6 weeks. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like a favorite game of all time, I would probably have to go with the series again, and yeah, just go with like the Zelda series. Definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, like Link to the Past, even though I never officially finished it, one of my favorite games. Majora's Mask, and or even just like Adventures of Link, I thought was all right. That's a fun game to speedrun.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's one of the ones that I like to go back to. And then go ahead.
I was about to say Oracle Seasons and Ages.
Those were good. Yeah, for Game Boy.
Capcom, listen to us, please.
Yeah. Remake those or put them in a collection, something. Yeah, I would love to play those. Please. I'd actually bought both of those games plus at the same time, because I remember I just started working when those came out. And I bought both of those, Ages and Seasons, plus I bought Resident Evil. What's it called?
Gaiden?
For Gaiden, yeah, for Game Boy. And I think I just like lost them all, like during a move or something. And now they're getting a little harder to find. Especially Gaiden is a pretty penny now. So
yeah,
R.I.P. to my move organizational skills.
At least it's not like Shantae for the Game Boy.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like $600.
Jeez.
And is there a game? All right, this is an interesting question. Is there a game that you ever played that you thought you would like it, but you actually ended up hating it?
Dead
so it had
Daylight.
like a good trailer, had a lot, right? Behavior's never going to hear the end of it. So. Yeah, like you saw the trailer, looked awesome or had good reviews, but you played it and you're like, man, this is Garbo.
Huh.
That's a hard one.
I think from my when Damnation for the PS3, when that came out, it looked interesting when I saw it during E3 and such. And I was like, okay, it looks dope. Let's try out this game. Bought it brand new. got home, popped in the disc. It was hot garbage. We're talking about what's it called? My Little Pony would have been much better game than Damnation. That I yeeted that game so fast. I was like, I can't do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but yeah, I'll take your advice of you're saying My Little Pony would be better. Although My Little Pony does have its fan base. The Brony Nation is alive and well.
I'm hella weak.
This is before the Brony Nation, man.
Yeah, there we go. Do you have one, Bento, that you would think that was, got a lot of hype, looked cool, but then you hated it?
Man,
What do you like?
Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for the 64.
Dude,
That
I actually
game.
like that game.
Oh, you like that one,
I
bro?
liked
I'm so I don't know. For
I
me, I
don't
was
think
like,
it aged well, but I think at the time I was just so excited for a Star Wars game.
this is the first time I had ever gotten frustrated with a game in my life. I was like, God damn it, Dash Rendar, stop falling off the fucking train.
No, yeah. The mechanics were pretty garbage in that game, and I don't
It
think I
was
even got
hard
halfway
for
through
me.
it. Yeah,
No, I never even.
they probably didn't even finish the game, and they're just like they're never going to get far.
I'm so sorry, but yeah, that gosh, that
Yeah.
one for me.
The look on your face is like,
I can't, dude. Fuck you,
I-
Dash Rendar.
I was just excited for a Star Wars game at the time, and then N64 had came out. I think it was like one of like the launch titles, wasn't it, with N64?
Yeah,
Either
I
that
think
or-
so.
yeah.
It came out pretty quickly, and yeah, I mean, I didn't get far in it, but I was just so excited to have like a 3D Star Wars game. I was like, hell yeah! And then, yeah, I maybe got like maybe 20% into the game and got frustrated with it. Couldn't.
Dude,
I was like, okay, I'll just put it
I
on the
could
shelf.
never get past the Ord Mantell junkyard, bro. Fuck my life. That was like the
Dude.
third level.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's definitely a hard game for sure.
Yeah.
For me, like a game that I thought was going to be really cool, and then I just absolutely hated it was Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I just
Oh,
thought like I was like,
really?
oh, it's going to be like this cool like online Dragon Ball community. Like you're going to create your own character, and everyone's going to kind of be unique. And I didn't get into it at all. Maybe I was missing something. If anybody out there's listening who liked that game can maybe tell me what I'm missing, but I didn't get into it. I thought the mechanics were kind of wonky. I thought it just had a lot of a lot of like fluff in there that I didn't need. But yeah, just being a huge Dragon Ball and anime fan, like in general, I hated that game. And never played Xenoverse 2, but eventually I'm going to collect these games because I'm trying to collect all the Dragon Ball games for all the consoles. But so eventually I'm going to get them. Those might be the last ones I buy though. Did not like it. Did you guys? Did you end up playing that one at all? Bento or Baymax?
Actually, no.
I played it a little bit because my manager was like, "Oh, you should play this game," and I was like, "Oh, sure." And I checked out the game, and I was like, I got bored. Like in the first 15 minutes of the game, it's like playing Skyrim but boring.
Yeah.
And Skyrim was boring as fuck in the first 15 minutes.
It's even more boring than Skyrim.
It was like, you're finally awake. I'm like, fuck this game.
You're all, no, I'm not. Good night. Hey guys, just a quick interruption here for a quick plug for our Patreon. We do have a Patreon available if you enjoy the podcast and you want to support it. You can actually visit us at patreon.com/Modern Gaming Weekly. We do have 3 tiers available for support, and all profit goes right back into the podcast to bring you weekly episodes and to provide more and better content. So you can get early access to episodes, get mentioned in the YouTube Patreon episode credits, suggest topics for the show, as well as get behind-the-scenes photos and videos of the homemaking process here of the podcast. It's pretty interesting. So please check out the Patreon. It is greatly appreciated by all of us here at the show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Thank you. Oh, man. All right. And then, so this is the question I've been waiting for. We got 3 more questions for the podcast. This is the one I've been waiting for, though. This is the golden ticket right here. I've been waiting to ask you guys. If you had to marry the last video game character that you played, who would it be? Now you don't have to count Dead by Daylight since we kind of play that every day.
Meg with her big ass forehead.
I would
That
only marry
shining
Meg if
beacon
she
of
wore
hope.
the mask. So, like game, like I guess game you played on your own. You can count DVD if you want, but single player game, whatever you played on your own, either console or on Steam or whatever. But it has to be the last one you played. Which character would you be marrying, Baymax?
Last game I played? Aw.
Yeah. Are you marrying Link?
No. What's that chick from Link's Awakening? The one that gives you smooches. Oh, what's her name? Do you know which one I'm talking about, right, Abel? That you go into her house and like she gives you extra hearts. But gives
Oh yeah. Marin? Is that the one?
not Marin. Marin is the
Is it Madame Meow Meow?
Oh, what's her name? She's in Link's Awakening. It was basically you go into her house. She's sitting on her bed. Go figure.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, like I don't remember what was her name.
So
I'll
it
go
would be
for
that
that.
girl though from Link's Awakening, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll figure out the name. We'll get back to that.
And Bento, who would you be marrying?
Shoot, dude, that's a hard one, man. Probably Bayonetta, dude.
Is that the last game you played though?
Like with the female character that I think was pretty fire, yeah.
You just want her thighs wrapped around you.
Bro, she could step on me all she wants.
And a very fun game too. Freaking Bayonetta.
It is a very fun game. Don't at me.
Mine would be really weird because I played the SNK Heroines. So you have like the female version of Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury. So I guess that would be what I'm marrying. I don't know. It's the female version of Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury. So there you go.
Terry Bogard.
Terry Bogard, yeah, but look up SNK Heroines Terry Bogard
Oh, I think I hear it.
because they have
The name
have
is
a female
Tracy.
version. Tracy, okay.
Tracy,
Tracy
yeah.
Bogard. Oh, okay, I see you. Okay.
Oh, well, Tracy is from Link's Awakening.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we got Baymax's wife, Tracy.
You know it, pinup girl. Delicious.
All right, and
Mint.
then mint. It's a prime choice there, Baymax. All right, and then the last two questions. Let's go ahead and wrap up here. Baymax, what was the first game you ever remember playing? Earliest memory of a video game? What was it?
Earliest memory would be the Coleco with Donkey Kong Jr. and
Oh, okay.
she had Space Invaders as well, and some other games. Like she had a big bag of collection of games.
Oh, okay. So ColecoVision with Donkey Kong, pretty much the first one you ever played.
Yeah,
Okay, and Bento.
For me, it'd be Dr. Mario on the Game Boy.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, it's a good one.
That one was a good
Dr.
one.
Mario, dude.
Yeah, classic.
Was there a Dr. Mario that came with like Tetris too? I don't remember. I remember playing one like that.
So, yeah.
Tetris and Dr. Mario together.
I think it was Dr. Mario and
Yeah, Tetris and Dr. Mario, correct.
For Nintendo, right?
Yeah, for Nintendo.
Cool. I think that's what I remember playing.
Super Nintendo, yeah.
Super Nintendo. Okay. So they put like both of them on there.
Yep.
For me, the very first one, I think I talked about earlier. I think it was on the Commodore 64. I think it was called Aztec Challenge. or on console, the original Mario Brothers on NES. I don't remember which one I played first, but it was one of those two when I was like 4 years old. So yeah, that was the beginning of the journey right there.
Okay.
And then finally, let's see. I'm real interested to see you guys' answers for this question. If somebody offered you $500,000 in cash, but you could never play video games again, would you refuse the money or would you take it? 500,000 to never play games again.
I want to hear Bento's answer first.
I would refuse the money, honestly, because if it weren't for video games, I would not have met all you wonderful people. You know, I've met a lot of friends playing video games, you know, learned a lot of things. Some of the games that I've played honestly taught me like about real life things also. It's not just that, you know, like I'm not going to give up experience for cash.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I was already thinking about taking the money, but your your epiphany here, Benta, actually has changed my mind. Now, you know, that's something I would actually consider. If somebody's, hey, $500,000, you know, to maybe they said like 10 million. Okay, I'll become a big movie buff then. I still got anime, I guess. I don't know.
Abel's gonna be a closet gamer.
Like, let me get 5 minutes real quick. Nobody's looking. Yeah, but I agree. You know what? Thinking about it that way, there's definitely a lot of people I met through gaming, like, you know, including you guys and, you know, people, you know, that I met like 10 years ago that I still talk to today that I met through gaming. So it definitely gives you a lot of good experiences and, you know, create a lot of memories too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, gaming isn't everything in life, but it's definitely one of those things when you're into it, you can create a lot of good memories and experiences. So yeah, I would refuse the money thinking about it.
Hands down, I would refuse the money as well.
Yeah.
Because that for a little bit of money like that, no, you could just play the lottery and hope to hit that type of money.
Yeah.
What if they gave you 10 million, Baymax? Would you still refuse it? Or
yeah,
okay.
Because my sanity would go go out the window if I don't play video games.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things too. It's like stress relief. There was, I don't know if you guys saw that. There was like this popular TikTok where this girl comes and like shuts this dude's console off. And then he was like, that's all I have. And like, he walked off all pissed.
Or the girl that comes in with a golf club and hits the TV.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But you know what? It's, you know, for some people, that's like their escape, you know what I mean? From reality, you know? And
sometimes
so,
it's a stress reliever, dude. Like it's a meditation for some.
Yeah.
You know, to calm people down. Like I totally feel that on so many levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so games over money, man. That's why we're doing this podcast. we're true gamers. Have the Mountain Dew, and actually, I have my hot Dr. Pepper that I'm drinking.
Power of the gamers.
Power of the gamer, man. That's how committed I was. I'd even chill my Dr. Pepper before I brought it. But yeah, so any last thoughts you guys want to put out for the second episode? Anything else you want to say about yourself or anything else you want to talk about? You know, just mentioning gaming in general. You guys have any final thoughts?
Not really. I mean, other than I'm looking forward for certain games to come out, like House of the Dead. You know,
there you go. Yeah.
Bento? Also looking Classic Game Fest to go see what's out there. You know.
Oh yeah.
We're
relive the childhoods.
Yeah, excited for that. We're gonna be at Classic Game Fest in Austin, Texas, in late July. And I think this episode, I mean, everything's gonna launch before Classic Game Fest. So if you guys are, you know, listening to this and it's still before, you know, the Classic Game Fest of July 2021, then you know, go out, hit us up, and we'll be out there.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to wrap up episode number 2. Brown Baymax, go ahead and let people know where they can find you on the internets.
You can find moi at Instagram at Brown brownbaymax.tv, and on Twitch as well as Brown Baymax, or on Twitter as brownbaymax_TV.
Perfect. And then Bento, where can people find you on the internets?
You can find me through my Twitter handle, Bento Senpapi, and also on Twitch, Bento Box Senpai. Don't be afraid to come through and watch our gameplay, you know, have some good laughs, hang out. It's all fun. You guys are more than welcome to hang out with us.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. We're usually hanging around like on Twitch or, you know, in the Discords, just hanging out, just BSing. It's been a lot of fun. And then for myself, you can find me usually active on Twitter. You can just search The Able Geek, as well as Twitch, also The Able Geek. And if you want to follow the podcast, we do have a Instagram set up. Just search Modern Gaming Weekly Podcast. And yeah, give the show a follow there. Be much appreciated. But thank you guys for listening again. Go ahead and stay tuned for the next episode. We'll be back next week. And until then, you guys have a good one. Later.
Bye.